This is Johnny Salmon back with another video, and this time I'm hoping to talk about Daniel Cormier and Alexander Gustafsson. They're kind of engaging in a little bit of I don't want to say it's full-blown beef, but pretty much DC kind of called out Gustafsson for pulling out of his fight at UFC, I believe it was 227, pulling out of that fight, and then, kind of admonishing him for doing so. He pulled out because of an injury, and from there, the light heavyweight champion, the champ, decided to just get on his case. And I don't really agree with that too much, and just insofar as Cormier calling the shots in regards to who he believes is next in line for a title shot. Even before this came out, he was already suggesting that Shogun, should he win his next fight, should be the man considered for a title shot. And Anthony Smith knocked out Shogun in 90 seconds. And, y'all don't hear him saying that Anthony Smith should be next, right? He took the man's place. He knocked him out. So you'd think, oh, hey, why not? Why not him? He can be the next challenger, if anything. But not that I really agree with that. I guess he started admonishing Gustafsson, saying, I guess he was ducking Anthony Smith because Anthony Smith had called him out after his victory, called out Gustafsson. And he was trying to basically say, like, oh, you're trying to call your shot, you're trying to do this and that. I mean, essentially, he's admonishing Gustafsson, saying that he's trying to call his shot by essentially making him know that he will never fight him again. Which is very strange. I don't really understand how it's like the pot calling kettle black situation. You can't really say you're ducking one guy and then proceed to basically duck him, duck that very same person you're admonishing. I don't really agree with that. The full statement, he released a full statement, basically saying, Dear Alex, I don't know what happened to you going back to the Rockhold situation. You have always been a stand-up guy, but your behavior changed from calling a guy out the day after he got knocked out to now offering to fight me knowing I have a broken hand after Volkan couldn't go. Now you've turned down Yan, you've turned down Khalil, all while calling for a heavyweight title fight. Now, moments after Anthony Smith does his work like an animal, you decide you're hurt. Man, I respect you as a fighter. I will always be grateful for October 2015, but you and I won't share the octagon again. I am disappointed in you, in who you've become. You are so entitled, man. I can't deal with delusional people. Good luck recovering. Our time has passed. See you from the commentary table, DC. Now, let's be honest right now, for a second. How did Daniel Cormier earn his heavyweight title fight? He has a history in the division. He is the light heavyweight champion, but he hadn't fought back at heavyweight in quite some time. He didn't take out any of the newer up-and-coming contenders in the top 10, even. It's like he didn't really fight any of those guys. How did he earn his shot at a heavyweight title? I'm not trying to hate on DC for this, but you have to understand, look, there's these rankings for a reason. If Gustafsson is the number one contender, you can't rag on the guy for refusing to fight and he wants to have his shot at the title again. He's gotten 2 chances, right? Granted, he's gotten 2 chances, but he's defeated pretty much everyone else in the division below him. Only other people, unless it's fresh up and comers, he hasn't fought. He hasn't fought Volkan, and he was scheduled to fight him. And Volkan being injured, why would you go and fight a guy who's ranked 10 or ranked 12 or something like that, or just came into the rankings? And if Gustafsson's legitimately hurt, you can't knock the guy for pulling out. Why not? Just pull out. Yes, at that level, at this level of sport, when you're at the top, of the top, you're not just gonna start taking every wild chance like ever. You're just gonna be like, okay, oh, you want me to fight a number 15 guy? Cool, let's do it. No, that's not really how it works. Especially when you're the number one guy, you're gonna fight guys that are around your level. And especially when you consider he's the number one contender, you could easily fight DC for a light heavyweight belt. Like, there's not really a ton of arguments to get to, especially when you consider that their first fight was so close. It was such a close decision. You know, a lot of people scored that fight for Gustafsson. I was one of them. And, you know, not to say that DC didn't deserve the nod. Like, it was such a close fight, but it was so close, and it happened, you know, almost 3 years ago. We could definitely see that fight again. We can run that fight back. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. We already saw DC fight Jones twice. He lost the first time, and then he worked his way back up, and, you know, a bunch of other things happened. He became champ, and he fought Jones again. You know, these kind of things shouldn't be ruled out like rematches. He's making it seem like, oh, I will never rematch you, Gustafsson. I just think that's wrong. I mean, especially when the guy has earned his position. You know, he fought Jan, he beat him already, and he beat Teixeira, knocked Teixeira out. He was gonna fight Volkan, and then, you know, he unfortunately got injured. Let the guy sit on the sideline if you want to, especially if he has something nagging. He had a little nagging injury during the training camp. Why not let that thing heal up and potentially put him in a position to either fight Volkan down the line or fight DC, you know, down the line when both parties are, you know, in good shape. So I really do think at this point that Cormier should either defend the belt, like explicitly say he's defending the belt, or drop it. I mean, somebody could easily just tell me to, you know, piss off or something. But honestly, there seems to be this kind of, I feel like it was such a weird situation to bring Brock Lesnar into the cage after DC beat Stipe. It was just, it kind of forced the marketing already going in that direction. Like, everyone's mind is set on that fight now. So anything else in between, you know, if we don't get really an explicit answer, we're just assuming that he's going to defend his belt next, his heavyweight belt, against Lesnar. And I think that's just common sense, especially they're selling it like that, they're pushing it like that. I mean, what else are we to expect? And, you know, you need the light heavyweight division to have some clarity, you know, have a little bit of clarity. He just defended that belt back in January, so I don't think an interim belt is needed, but I do think he should explicitly say, I need to go back down and crush some of these guys again. Or, you know what? My time as light heavyweight champion is over. I'm moving on to greener pastures. I'm going to be making my money in the heavyweight division. Nothing wrong with that. I don't think there's any shame in that game. I still think Cormier will go down as one of the best fighters of all time to do what he's been able to do. You know, I think he does want to, deep down in his heart of hearts, I do believe he wants to go back down and defend the belt, because it will be like a first. It's like, okay, I'm the first guy to get 2 belts at the same time, plus I was able to defend both belts. And that's something I think he wants to have, that little feather in his cap, and it will kind of, you know, further his legend. So I think that's really what he wants. But, you know, I don't think it hurts to just explicitly say that, hey, I'm ready to defend both belts. I'm going to do it. You know, he did kind of mention it in, you know, vaguely after he won the belt. Like, you know, I will, you know, be planning to go down. But, you know, right now, I feel like people they feel unclear. They're unsure. I guess he doesn't really owe them anything, right? Just like Gustafsson doesn't owe him anything. But I definitely do think he should be making things a little more explicit. And I think it will just give everyone a proper path to go along, especially in matchmaking, you know, where matchmaking is considered as well. So if you guys agree, disagree, you can give me a like. Be sure to subscribe, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one.